Hey guys, this is Cree. Welcome back. I just wanted to jump in and talk real quick about my position and how it's going. And just how it weighs in with my mental health. So, this channel, as you know, is not about claims, insurance adjusting. I am a claims specialist. I do property claims for a well-known insurance company. So I've been doing this a little over a year, and just, a quick briefing. Customer service is what I normally do. I've done that most of my life, some form of it. Most of it desk at a computer. I took a break, I think in 2022 maybe, or 2021. I'd have to think about it for a second, and decided I went into security, which is a form of customer service, but it's nothing I've ever done. But it's a well-known insurance company, or not insurance, well-known security company. I seen they were hiring for a lot of different positions. I said, why not? And next thing you know, I was doing it for a little over 2 years. But during that time, I was not sure. I kept seeing insurance specialists or insurance adjusters, things like that, advertised. So when I was getting a little tired of the doing the security, because even though it was an easy job and I loved the people that I worked for, loved them, I loved management, I loved them all, even though I was content as far as that's concerned, I just felt like I had more purpose. Okay. So I went in, I decided after, some time, it took a little over a year to finally decide to do it, because not having any experience, I didn't know how that was going to work. So then I seen training positions, as a trainee. I seen several different insurance companies doing that. I applied for them all, and one called me back. So I had several months of training, and then even when you get out of training, you're still technically in training, but you're out on the floor and on your own. So there's a lot of stress to this. I've described it before for anybody who doesn't know about being a claims adjuster, but the whole scenario, the whole synopsis is, you're trying to solve people's insurance problems when they have a loss. So whether it be auto or property, it's the same. Property is what I do. That's what they train me for. So if, for any of you guys that were affected by, hurricanes, tornadoes, any type of weather related claims, things like that, you got damaged, maybe your roof was damaged, maybe your fence, your house, everything inside, the drywall, your ceiling, your carpet, everything. So what you guys are going to do is you're going to call your insurance company. You call your insurance company, they get the claim started for you, which I think is like the customer service side. And then, it's passed along, and it's assigned out. So I don't work the field, I work in the office, I work at the desk. So I get the claim, I would call you guys back just to recap what you've already told them and get some more fine details. And then, we gotta, see, do you have your own contractor? Or do you need us to try to assist you with it? Or, if it's water damage, do you have a mitigation company already? Or do you need assistance with that? So it just depends on your situation. So for most of this journey, I was doing all of it for the most part. And then for a few months, I'll say, I attempted to do just one type of claim, water. And I don't know, that didn't seem to work out, but that's neither here nor there. So I'm back to just kind of doing a variation of claims. Okay, the front end of it. Front end, you call, you say you have a damage to the roof and water's coming in, the rain's coming in from the storm, and now you got water damage on the inside of the house. Or maybe your refrigerator line burst. Either or, it damaged your vinyl floors, things like that. So once I get that information, I verify it all. Let's just say, whatever the case is, we need to send one of our people out to go out there to also get an estimate. So that way we have something to compare to with maybe your contractor, just in case, the objective is to come as close as possible with each other so that we can go ahead and pay out. Insurance, the purpose of all of that, they want to come within reason. This is their way that they say to help you save on your premiums throughout the year. So they're not going to necessarily pay what your contractor wants, okay? They're going to look and they're going to dissect as far as what we cover and what we don't. Now, I'm not here to bash contractors, and I'm not here to bash insurance companies, because I can see it both ways, okay? I know how contract companies work, and I know how they bill, how they invoice. I also know how insurance companies work and how they try to save on their end. So my job is to rebuild. Take that estimate or estimates. If our people have already done it, there's nothing more for me to do. Except, because if they're doing it, they're going to more than likely pay it out anyway. The field adjusters, they have a big job, so they're going out there to get it, and then their office time, they write the claim. They try to process and get it all out the way. But certain ones would come to me. So me being a desk adjuster, my job is to figure out if I need to rebuild the estimate, and approve items and not approve. And then, I would go ahead, if I need to get an approval just based on how much money is being paid out, then I get the approval and I go ahead and I pay you out. If you need some sort of living, cost of living expenses paid. So maybe you're living in a home, just like with the wildfires. That's a good example. So your house burned down. So you definitely are going to need to be relocated. So we assist with that as well. I would call one of our people that we deal with based on where you're at. They'll go ahead and set all of that up for you, and they'll get you temporarily relocated until whatever it is that you need occurs. So if it's just you had a lot of damage but the structure's still there and it could be rebuilt, and whether it takes 3 weeks or 6 months, as long as your policy shows that you have that coverage and however much coverage it is, then we go ahead and we take care of that. If you have personal items that were damaged and you've got that coverage as well, then yeah, all of that is part of your claim. So this is what I do on a day-to-day. It is a stressful job. There's a lot of multitasking. There's a lot of calls back and forth between you and being me, the adjuster, and the specialist, and you being the policy holder, and your contractor, who probably wants to argue back and forth about what we should cover. Okay, so this is stressful to me. I got in over my head signing up, getting in, but I said, you know what? I'm not a quitter. I'm going to see what this is like. I'm going to try it, and what happens, happens. So we're here. We are a year later, a little over a year later. I have learned things. I get better and better, but still, it mentally just, it affects me in such a way that it affects my mental and it affects my physical. So I said many videos ago, probably 2-3 months ago, when I first started the actual content creating, I was discussing decisions that I have to make, because I don't know if this is something I can continue doing, because I feel like it breaks me down. And this is why I also said it's best that you have multiple streams of income, because I'm not in a position where I can just quit and say, oh, I'm going to try something else. Let me wait it out 6 months. I don't have 6 months worth of savings. I don't have that kind of savings. Not at all. Nowhere close do I have that kind of savings where I can just do that. Okay. So, I think it's a great company for the most part. I don't have anything to say about the company itself. It's just the process and the way they do things. I don't have anything to compare it to. I have fellow adjuster friends who've been doing this for years, and they've told me it may not be the right fit for you as far as the company. You may want to try another company and see what their process is. Or you may want to go independent, which I had considered in the beginning. But in the beginning, I had tried to take the Arizona test, and I'll never forget. I think I failed it by like 2.5 points, something like that. 2.5, 3 points, percentage points. I was very upset. I was a little hard on myself. I was supposed to go back, but then next thing you know, one of the insurance companies reached out and they took me on, and that's where I've been since. So I don't know if this is something that I want to do necessarily in the future, because I think I'm trying to force it. I think I'm trying to force it a little too hard. I'm forcing something that may not be for me. I don't know. The customer service part, yes, but the actual building, the process of it, it's so much involved. I know it sounds easy for people on the outside that don't know what insurance adjusters go through, but I promise you, they're not just sitting at the desk twiddling their thumbs. There's always work. There's never been a slow day ever. There's no such thing. When you're working insurance claims, it is always from 0 to 100 in a matter of 2 seconds. That's your job. From the time you get in there, boom, 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 boom. You have to keep going. You're never going to have a queue that's 0. It doesn't work like that, because there's always claims. Insurance is going to always be around. As long as people own things, there's insurance, and you're going to have it. It's going to be there. You're going to have claims. So every day is stressful for me. I do things at a pace. I can't use that with this type of job. I can't use Cree's pace with this type of job. It doesn't work. And this is what I'm trying to really, I've wrapped my mind around it, but now I have to finalize my thoughts. What's your next move? I've been kicking this for the longest, and I have to just decide. But when we're living like we are in society right now, where, there's a high percentage of Americans, middle class, lower middle class, like low middle class, and the poor, we don't have savings like that. It's just, you work hard, you live check to check, but you don't have money to save. You just don't. You know why? Again, because all your money is going to bills. All your money is going for your children, going for this, going for that. So, I can't just sit it out. I can't. So I don't know, you guys. I know this is just kind of a rant, but it's the truth about insurance adjusting. It's not for the weak. It really isn't. I've seen from the people who started with me, there's only, I don't even think a third of us are left. I think it's less than that. I think it's like, I don't know, an eighth of us left. It's not a lot of us. It's just a handful of us left. So I don't know. I want to say like 30, maybe close to 30 of us started. I can't remember. And I'm talking about just here in Phoenix. I'm not talking about all around, because the way they do the training, they get them from different states and then they compile. So I'm just talking about in my immediate Phoenix training class, I think it was 20 something of us, 25, maybe 30. But I'm telling you, I've watched them drop off like flies within the last year. Do you think it's because they weren't smart? No. They were very smart. And they probably were just smart enough to say, you know what, I'm going to go back to my last job because it wasn't so bad. Or just something completely different. I don't know. Who knows? They may have even went to another company doing the same thing and maybe got better results. I couldn't say. I wasn't personally close or attached to anybody to get the skinny on it, but this is definitely, it's something that you want to consider before you get into it. Understand what adjusting means. And like I said, different companies do different things. So I wouldn't say not to try it. Always try something, because you may be a really good fit. You may be underplaying yourself and thinking you're not good enough. No, you are. But just understand, it's not for the weak. It's not something that you give up in a month. This is the type of job that you probably won't really get it until you've been there over a year. It just takes time, you guys. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Like I said, it was just a rant because it is constant things that I battle, and it brings on a lot of stress for me, and it brings on a lot of it just takes a toll on me, mentally and physically. So it's just, I can't say it's just me, because I've talked to many. It's just one of those jobs. It could be lucrative for you depending on what side of the fence. This is not about, I'm not complaining about the salary and all that. That's not what this is about. This is just about what you have to give in, what you have to give up, and what you have to do to maneuver, because this is a very stressful job. The pros with the job, other than it could be good pay. Everybody pays different, but they're all within about the range, per your city and so on and so forth. But what I will say with that, you get to help people. You get to bring people back whole. So, it always feels good, especially when you have a policyholder say, oh, I'm so glad this is, you've done so well with me. You guys are fast, or you're this or you're that. The stress comes in when you can't help them right away, because maybe 3 other adjusters had it before you. Now you're coming in the middle of a claim and you're trying to fix it, or who knows, somebody else is trying to fix one of your old claims. Everybody's opinion is opinion. I don't get mad about anything like that. It's just harder for me to start where someone left off, unless the left off person is me and it was mine from the beginning. So it tends to take you longer. Management makes a difference too. You may have a manager who's just, everybody's management style is different, and everybody gravitates to different things. I can adjust to just about anyone, but like I said, the stress of it and the this bump, that's very difficult for me. I can do just about anything you ask me, but I have to do it at a certain pace. So anyway, I'm getting out of here for real this time. You guys just have a great weekend, okay? Take care.